Hey guys, something a little bit different today. I am going to be creating a single release checklist for myself, and I'll probably put it on my website at some point as well for you guys to download. Now you may be asking, why are you doing a single release checklist? Because there actually is quite a lot of stuff to do when you release a single or an album. Not just make awesome tunes, release, done. Although that sounds really fun, it's not quite that straightforward. So I've decided to try a different route, because up until this point I've been using things like Asana, Notion, my notes, yada yada yada. I've been using all these other things to track my music creation and release and marketing. And what I found is that I still work best when I have something to write on. Now, some of you might know that I created a planner myself for my own work. It's called like the Weekly Productivity Planner. You can get it on Amazon. I created that so that I could track certain types of work and track my habits. And I really love it. I think it works really well for me. But what it doesn't have is this type of thing. It doesn't have a single checklist specifically for releasing singles and albums. Actually, I don't want to say and albums, singles. And I would like to create a little checklist that I can print out, and for each new single I start, and usually you're involved in the process of me recording it these days, I'm going to print out a little checklist, or maybe even turn it into a little book that goes on Amazon and that you guys can enjoy, because actually sometimes it's fun to have a book rather than a bunch of printouts. The printouts are cool because you can then put it in a folder and organize the folder, and actually I like the sound of that too. Ooh, put different coloured, separators in there. So I'm just going to use Canva for this, nothing fancy. You can see I used a checklist template for that previously. I'm not going to use a template. I'm just going to keep this as simple as possible because I want this to be as simple as possible. Single release checklist. That's it. Isn't that all I need to do? I don't need a subheading, do I? No. So the first thing I'd like to have a list of things that I can track and that I will need to track. So for that, I'm going to use a list form. Just for now, nothing too super snazzy. I mean, I probably will end up putting a checkbox on this, but this is kind of the first draft, just to kind of get me used to the process, and so that I can brainstorm what I need to track. So the first thing would be track. Is it all capitals? It's all capitals. Track name. In fact, actually, the first thing I need to track is artist, because I release under different names. So it's all very well knowing the track name, but if I don't know which artist I'm releasing under, then very confusing. Artist and track name. So the first thing, would I need to write down finished track? No. But what I might need to do is prep for mixing. Because obviously the process would be that when I start the track, I write down this stuff here, and then I start to get a little list of tracks that are under production. I mean, this might just end up going in the bin, and I might end up just carrying on just aimlessly writing names of tracks all over the place and saving all sorts of folders and files everywhere. But hopefully this helps keep me a little bit more focused. So prep for mixing, and then mix, master, done, tick. Then it would be artwork. Yep. And I've been holding back. I don't know why I've been holding back. I actually already have written this list somewhere else. Where are you? There we go. I should have just done this, shouldn't So finish track, mix, master, artwork. Right now, I'm just going to take all of this stuff. I'll go through each step with you so that you can see what I'm talking about. So add master track to Dropbox folder. This is because, like I said, I'm kind of doing this for my own little record label library thing, and I want to have everything in a Dropbox folder so that people, if they want to use the music for whatever purpose, can download it from that Dropbox folder. Now, add track to master's sheet. Now, I've called it master's sheet. Now, the master sheet for me is just a big sheet that has different pages for each artist so that I can track all of the relevant information for those artists. So, the type of stuff I would be tracking would be ISRC codes, names, the Dropbox folder link, loads of other stuff, basically, probably the album number, I forget what that was called, US something, USC? Yeah, I think that's what that's called. UPC, there we go, I've written it down. So here we go. Schedule release. Now, obviously, that would be upload and schedule release. Upload to whichever distribution, or I don't want to say arbitrage, that's not the right word. Yeah, they're not music distributors, really, actually. They're music aggregators. That's the word I'm looking for. Music aggregators like DistroKid, Ditto Music, and CD Baby. They're the three I use. There are a ton of others. Now, don't ask me why I use those three. Well, I can tell you, actually. I use Ditto Music because it was the first one I found, and it was like a cheap annual fee for one artist. Great, I'll just do that. I tried CD Baby because they have a sync side, TV sync side, so you upload to them and it goes into their sync library so that they can pitch it for TV placements. And I tried DistroKid just because I actually signed up with those guys years ago with Elephant Music for a 50-50 split. And then went back to them because I was a little bit disappointed with Ditto Music's customer service. And CD Baby obviously charge you per release, whereas DistroKid and Ditto Music charge you just a subscription. So I wanted to upload some new music, so I signed up to, reopened my account for DistroKid. And that's why I have the three of them. I mean, Ditto Music has since, I'm now on their record label tier, which is because I have 5 different artists on there, which means I now get pro support, air quotes, pro support. Basically, it means that they get back to you but relatively soon rather than waiting weeks, which what it was before, and I think it might be if you've only got one artist there. I can only assume. I haven't tested DistroKid's customer service just yet, so I can't talk for it, but that's why I have the 3 of them. Anyway, back to it. So upload and schedule release. Yes, probably would go to Ditto Music or DistroKid. Because actually Ditto Music's just released a sync licensing thing, but also actually I'll do that, but it's not necessarily something I want to focus on right now. Copy metadata to master sheet. So that's when you schedule a release, they'll give you the ISRC code and potentially a UPC code if it's an album. And then I will upload to Disco, which is where I will store the back-end library of my tracks so that users can access that, and then add meta tags to Disco, add to relevant playlists within Disco. Register with PRO, which for me is PRS, which sounds confusing if you don't know what a PRO is. It's a performing rights organization. And SoundScan tracks your stuff for radio plays, so that's registered with SoundScan. I think that is everything within the first stage, as in getting your music out. and ready. The one thing I didn't do actually is add track to article. Now, the reason I have that is because Cinemalism is going to be doing some SEO stuff. So it'd be like tracks for horror, or actually probably, I'll try that, but maybe things like tracks for tying your shoelaces, music to lie down and look at the ceiling to, that type of thing. Maybe just have a bit of fun with it, because I miss treating my music with fun over treating it with such seriousness. List done. Okay, so this is the pre-release part. Let's call that pre-release. Done. And then this would be the post-release part. So this is the marketing stuff, I think. So what have I written down? Once released. So toned end link, not necessarily needed, but might be quite nice. Streaming links to master sheet. So that would be from whichever aggregator I use. And when it's gone live. There we go. That's it. Once released. So it would be a Spotify link, Apple Music link, YouTube link, and Amazon Music link. Create music video. Upload and schedule music video to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Upload to CML website. I've already got that on there, haven't I? I don't need to do that. No, I don't need that one there because it's up here. That's adding it to an article. Create shorts, short form videos. I'm going to be using this a lot more at the moment because I think it's quite a good way to garner attention to your music. I dabbled in advertising my tracks before, and the way the advertising works is you create short form videos of your music. So why not just create a bunch of short form videos for the music and then upload and schedule shorts? Now the interesting here is it's got short 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's assuming I'm only doing 5, or it's assuming I'm going to be doing 5. So the difficult thing there is how many boxes do I leave for the shorts? Short form videos, that is. Because I could eventually do more than 5, but I think that would be confusing matters unnecessarily. So let's just take that, delete that, and then copy that, and then paste that. There we go. Okay, so this is a pretty ugly checklist, isn't it? I mean, rubbish. Let's check box. I'm pretty sure there is a way for you to do a checkbox on this thing. What's it called? Canva. Maybe I should have just gone for a template. I probably should have just gone for a template. But I mean, how many things have I got here? Is it going to tell me the numbers? There we go. 14 and 16. So I've got 30 boxes to tick. I mean, seeing it like that, you go, oh, no wonder I was getting a little bit stressed. Because you think, okay, if there's 30 things to do and I've got 30 albums of stuff to do, each with 10 tracks on, 300 times 30 actions, 9,000, I think. 300 times 10, 3,000, yeah, 9,000 things to do. Yeah. Oh dear, I'm going to go and have a nap. That sounds really, really stressful, doesn't it? So I'm going to go back to my original kind of discussion about this, because I want to be able to be giving my music the chance it deserves. Because so much of my life up until this point has been pitching my music to other libraries or writing for other libraries. Still do that, still fun, but it's felt like there has been a niggling at the back of my mind for years about having my own stuff. And I feel like I should finally just get on with it. Checklist. Oh, there we go. Get it done. I should have just done that in the start, shouldn't I? Ooh, this is cool. I just love Canva, because then you've got all these other people doing these great designs. I basically need 2 columns. Self-care checklist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need more than that. I kind of need a sheet like this. It needs to have a checkbox next to it and then a box for me to write. Kind of like that and kind of like that, but it's like 2 columns. Yeah, this is pretty cool, but it's not quite doing the job. I wonder how they've made these things. Like I said, different video today. But actually, again, the part of me doing these videos is actually me showing you all of the stuff that I do and have done. Because even when I would be writing a track for a trailer music library, I'd still have some kind of list like this going on. It was usually in my planner. I can't see right now. Don't know where I've put it. It was usually in my... Was it in here? No. It was usually in my planner. And you don't talk about this stuff. No one talks about this stuff. No one says, oh, having, actually some people do when it talks about like PR and marketing and this, that side of it. But no one talks about, as a composer, this is the stuff you need to start doing and keeping track of, and that's really important, so yeah, that's my plan. I'm kind of openly reminding myself as to why I'm talking and trying to find a checklist on Canva templates so that I can do this thing. I should have just gone with the first one. The first one was fine, wasn't it? Checklist. Done. Yeah, let's open up that one. Add as new page. There we go. So what I need, mate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. Oh, thanks, Olivia Wilson. Thanks for these. These are great. Oh, let's get rid of that, so I can do this. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. Ran out of disk space. Another thing we have to deal with, my disk space is too. Okay, so I've decided to do this in 2 columns. And CV, copy and paste, I should say. One will be, there we go, the post-release. And one will be pre-release. Now, the one thing I do need to think about is that some of the things I'm listing... Ooh. Single release checklist. I mean, I don't think checklist needs to be that big, but in fact, let's just change that. Love a bit of design stuff. I don't think I need to tell myself to fill in the spaces. See ya. My wife's going out. Cool. Right. So there are a couple of things that are like artist track name should be kind of like up here. So it's not necessarily a checkbox that I need. Does that make sense? Yes, Rich, that makes perfect sense. So maybe I would go like a little line like this. I wonder if there's a nice one I can copy and paste. Just copy and pasting everything, aren't I? I need a line for artist. And I need a line for track name. CV, copy and paste. Artist. Again, this doesn't need to be big. This can be equal. Like that. There we go. And then I can, copy and paste. It's not working. Yeah, I'll just use the old Alt. I always forget about that name. Track name. There we go. And I wonder, do I need much? Does it need to be that big? Can it be smaller? Would that be enough space for me to write artist's track name? I know what to do. Do the classic. Put it on its side. Then I can then make it a bit smaller. That saves me some space. Hurrah! And how big is that? 7. Let's turn that to 7. 7. Again, some of you might be thinking like, dude, why am I watching a tutorial of Rich mucking about on Canva? Because this stuff happens. It's like, what I'm trying to get to you is, I guess I'm trying to do like a behind the scenes of a composer's life. You know, hashtag composer life. What up, composers of Canva? Because this stuff is part of the job. You don't necessarily need to design. You could have just bought a template or downloaded one for free. I'm sure there is a single checklist, but I like to do these things myself, as I'm sure you're aware. I wonder if those little boxes are going to print out well enough, because now they're quite small. I hope they will. I wonder what would happen if I mean, that looks a bit better now. I'll do that with all of them. Let me see. Tick. I said I don't want those on. No. Just trying to remember my short. Oh, no, not you. Nuts. I'm holding on shift. Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter. You get the gist. No, it does matter. It does matter. I've got to do this. Otherwise, this is going to annoy the hell out of me that they're so, like, invisible. There we go. Now, obviously, I'm going to copy and paste this, and then I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of drag that down there, because that should all be the same too. Cool. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Well done, dude. Thanks, dude. 5:15. Nice amount of space. Post-release. So let's brand this. Ooh, not the Training Music School. Doesn't really exist anymore. Well, it does, but not in the same way. Oh, damn it. I need effects. It's background, isn't it? Fill. Right, Phil, how you doing? And then let's put the text in black. Single release checklist. Now, these fonts aren't fonts that I tend to use in my brand. I like sort of simple, short, and fat, basically. Like that. Nice and clean. There we go. Now, the one thing that annoys me about this yellow is I've got slightly different yellow everywhere. That's not the same yellow as, like, if I loaded up the brand. If I plop this on there, I mean, you can see already, can't you? They're not the same. And that doesn't look the same either. I don't understand why it comes out so orange. It's annoying. I probably should be just making sure I've got the same. Yeah, it's the wrong hex code. I should use the right hex code. Okay, lesson learned, guys. Chill out. There we go. It's FF something. That one. Okay. Probably did nothing there, didn't I? Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to then write down these bits here on this little line. Now, this might get a bit mucky. So what I'll do is I will just take checkbox Okay, where was I? Again, my computer crashed because of the lack of memory. I figured out the problem. I had saved one of my Final Cut libraries in my documents folder, and it was like 100 plus gig of memory. It's moved now. It's in a better place. So what I was doing was moving this so it's like this. So let's go to Montserrat like that. And what I want to do is have all of these parts prepped for mixing. So finish. I don't know, do I like it? I think I quite like it all caps, but it does feel a bit shouty, doesn't it? Finish track. Now, how does that look? I mean, I'm starting to think, do I even need the lines? I mean, that would make it a bit simpler. After all that, Rich, what are you playing at? Let's give it a go. Oh, that looks much better. Yay. Stop that. Got a sentence. There we go. Finish track. Now what I can do is I can just copy and paste these guys so that they are 2.6, all the same. That's better. And then I can just edit the text. I mean, I probably should have just done this from the start. I've just made a... oh, these are all slightly off, aren't they? I have just made a 26-minute video out of nothing. There we go. I say 26. I don't know if it is 26. It probably is, knowing me. It's probably long. There we go. Finish checklist. Okay, finish track. That'll just be a case of moving this so I can see it a little bit. And zooming out. There we go. Finish track. Prep for mixing. Mix and master. Design artwork. Nope. That's it. Yes, that's good. Add master track to Dropbox. Should I just copy and paste that? Will it copy and paste that? Oh no. There we go. Add track to Dropbox folder. See, add to master sheet. So now this is, the thing about this is specific to me. That's the one difficult element here. Metadata to master sheet. I'm just going to write it down. No, I won't. Because creating this type of thing is great, but sometimes it's a bit specific to the person creating it. You're probably not going to upload to Disco. You're probably not going to add meta tags to Disco. You're probably not going to do all this stuff to Disco. I mean, it might be Disco. I know quite a few composers who use Disco for their own personal library purposes. But it might also... There we go. Boom. Rich with PRO. Now this stuff, I'm going to leave this here for now because I want to metadata to master sheet. There we go. Add to playlists. Disco. There we go. Because I might come back to this at some point and just double check. I could always just group these together and hide them. Now post-release is this chappy here. Now, ToneDen. For those of you who don't know ToneDen, I'll go check it out. It's pretty cool. And the reason I like it is because it's free to create your own like single link page. Oh, great. See, look, it's great, guys. Well done, Rich. It's got loads of other services, but the thing I like to use it for is link pages. So it's kind of like Linktree, but it's, use it for music. So you can just have, say you post a YouTube video of your track, you would have a ToneDen link that then takes you to a page that not only has your streaming links, but the possibility to have your website link on there, to have all these other adding links so that it's all cohesive. Yeah, there are other services that do it, but ToneDen is the one I would be using for this. And I should have deleted all of those lines. In fact, what I'll do... Need to work on my design workflow, don't I, guys? Guys, hello? Yeah, there we go. Post-release. So, ToneDen link. Because what I'll have there is I will now have the streaming links so that people can stream it to Spotify. I will now have the Dropbox link so I can add it to ToneDen, so that people can then possibly download it, and etc. 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 Because by this point, post release, but what that means is once the track is released, then I can then go back and add this stuff in. In fact, that's just made me realise something else that I could do here. Move this down a touch. Release date. Artist track name. Release date. Boom. Okay, there we go. Track name, release date, artist. Post-release, because then I can have the release here. ToneDen links, mix master. No, that's not right. Streaming links to master sheet. See, this one, that's the thing about checklists, right? Is they can be deceiving. Create music video. One single tick. I mean, how many steps is that going to take? I mean, a ton. I mean, it could be that I create a lyric video or a still or because then I've boring myself, obviously. Now, create music video could be a full-on thing. I prefer not to overthink it too much and just have a still image with either a waveform or not even that, or even just a moving image or something very, very simple, because you often, the video isn't necessarily the important part at this stage for me, because I'm going to be doing that when it comes to the shorts here. Create music video, upload and schedule. Let's use that ampersand. Schedule music video to YouTube to Facebook. I mean, Facebook and Instagram, really. That'll be the same one. And then TikTok. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these, because these are kind of like a sub element of that. Oh, now it's looking snazzy. Upload to CML website. So that means the blogs that I've been talking about. Websit. Upload to CML website. Where am I? Create shorts. Ooh. This is where I think I actually do need those lines. And am I going to do it? I'm going to do it. Yep, so let's copy and paste. See, 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tick. They're the 5 shorts. There's a 2.7 in there. And then upload and schedule shorts. Right. At this point in time, I think there might actually be more stuff to do to add to this checklist. But the nice thing about this now is that I can quite easily see, oh, actually there's quite a lot to do, isn't there? And that's the thing about this stuff, is there's so many other things to do that it can all become quickly overwhelming. You know, if you look at that and go, that's one song? What if you have 10 songs? Then you go, oh man. That's when you start to think about batching. But I'm not a huge fan of batching. I quite like combining, like what I'm doing now. I'm creating this single checklist, but I'm also recording this video podcast for you guys. Because sometimes with batching, it's like if I batch creating a ton of shorts, I quickly become bored and just like, oh, I'm sick of this now. I have to do the same thing over and over again. One of the reasons I like my job is that it's so different and varied. So yeah, anyway, back to the original point. This really kind of emphasizes how much you need to be focusing on organization. Because, I mean, if I am going to do this as a library, which I'd like to do, give myself that pat on the back, then I need to make sure that all of this stuff is absolutely organized and clear. Square. Now, what are you doing, Rich? I'm just adding a little colourful box because it looked a bit boring. I mean, it looks really boring, let's be honest with you now. Let's just position, move to the back. And I don't necessarily think we'll need it to be that. It just needs to be a little bit like that. In fact, I might even just give it a border too. Boom. Yeah. Something like that, just to kind of divide it up a bit. I mean, this is the problem I have when I'm doing this. I'm like, no, let's just make it quick and easy. No, I mean, I did like the yellow, but actually, this looks pretty cool. That's too fat, isn't it? Really. What do I have? 4 will do, because then I will just copy and paste. I always forget Alt, drag and Alt. There we go. Streaming links to master. I'm going to say master doc. I might have to make that one a bit smaller. There we go. Make that a bit smaller too. 14. Boom. Cool. Pretty happy with this. It's not as sexy looking as I would like it to be, but that's kind of beside the point. It's just there to help me with my process and make sure that I don't feel overwhelmed. I could have just done this with a piece of paper or a very, very simple. I mean, like you saw, I had already done this. My post. I had already done it, but I wanted something I could print out and be like, ta-da! So I'm actually going to print it out, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to let you watch me print it out because I've probably taken enough of your time. And here you go. Ta-da! And this is why it's quite fun, because actually I look at that and go, yeah, that font is massive. I've got loads more room. I also realise I've got, upload and schedule shorts, but then I didn't put YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. So got to add that in. But pretty chuffed with this. I feel like it's nice having a piece of paper that I can plop down here, and then I maybe get a little folder going for them just so I can keep track of my work. And I know I could have done this in Asana. But the thing I found with Asana and a lot of these other things is I open up Asana and it's just like, stuff to do! Whereas this is like, yeah, sheet. Old school. Right. I'll see you in the next one.